said that, what, 16 teams are...
So, yeah, this is what Jordan Schultz, our Fox insider, said, right? Sources, there were 16 teams who were in favor of banning the tush push, 8 short of the amount needed for the proposal to pass.
Yeah, it takes 24 teams to abandon it. It did not pass. Shady, your thoughts?
So wait, hold on. Is that all the teams?
There has to be 24 teams.
What I'm saying is all...
That's the thing. I don't think everybody voted.
Unless they abstain.
Correct.
Which I don't think...
So that's the final?
No, it's pushed. They postponed.
That ain't good. I mean,
no, it is not good for the Eagles.
That's
not good at all.
That's so weak, though.
You got to get 8 more teams.
You get what I'm saying? Like that's...
I agree.
Dog, if you can't stop it, you want to, like, ban it?
I agree.
We football players.
I heard something today that made me finally say, you know what? The tush push could be banned. And I stood with this. I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things, but the thing I love the most, Raheem Morris, head coach for the Atlanta Falcons, he said something y'all should hear or look at that. He said, I don't like to play for what I have to do to stop it. Then it made me think, again, y'all sitting at the desk, 35 years of offensive NFL experience, but I'm a defender. What you have to do to stop the tush push is now why I can say, you know what, I don't like to play. For this reason, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. But the action that the offense gets to do, the reaction is penalized. Offensively, Shady McCoy can get behind Jalen Hurts and he can push him forward. But if I, as a defender, grab somebody off the pile, what is that? Boop, that's a penalty. So you can push, but I can't pull. Make that make sense.
Well,
Furthermore, in practice, I know, remember what they try to do now, you have a jumper, you have the dudes up top, and you try to grab the quarterback by the back of his jersey, and you try to pull him, or you want to pull bodies off the pile. Offense can push, but the defense can't pull. To me, 1, that's problematic. 2, you can't execute a play until you practice it. You as a defense, you can't afford to practice the tush push. You just can't do it. I'm not going to say, all right, everybody huddle up, y'all get down. Hey, linebackers, jump. All right, on 3, down, ready, say hi. I can't afford to practice that play. So if I can't practice the play, how can I execute to stop the play? So when I saw what Raheem Morris said, finally as a defender, obviously as a former Eagle, I'm all for the tush push, run all the tush pushes and win all the games. But as a defender, I'm like, I can't stop the play based upon practice, number 1. And number 2, y'all can push, but I can't pull. You got to make that make sense.
Help me understand this, because I believe it's the softest thing ever. And I sit up here kind of disappointed that the Packers even started this stuff.
Yeah, that's your boys.
You know what I'm saying? But so you mean to tell me that just because you can't stop the play and you don't want to practice the play, you want to ban the play? Since 1919, whenever the NFL started, the quarterback sneak, so-called the tush push.
That's different. Two totally different things.
Way different.
2 totally different things. The quarterback sneak, leave it in. Tush push should be. Tush push
just
is
because somebody's pushing the guy
1,000%.
from the back. Pause.
We saw it in college. Remember, I think it was USC Notre Dame. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Reggie Bush.
So my thing, Acho, is why do we practice? Period. Then. You practice and you go over. This is what the Eagles run. LeSean McCoy, Deshaun Jackson.
We're not running this.
I'm talking about plays, period. Whatever your favorite run play was. This is what we run. Why are you practicing against the plays? You got to try to find a way to stop it. That I don't like that. Practicing against the play.
I got
practicing against every play to stop the play.
So on offense, right, when we play against certain defenses, you have a coach that every day they do installments, right? You know, first down, second downs, you got third and longs, you got red zone, right? You got the goal line. Every week they do this. And there's certain teams like, hey, listen, guys, listen.
Come on,
we got to stay out of 3rd and 6 because they got some of the best blitz packages ever, right? Okay, because if we're in 3rd down and like 6 with the blitz package they have, we cannot beat them. Okay, cool. So that means that whole game plan, we got to stay between 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2s, or 2nds and 1s to stay away from that blitz package. Same thing with the Eagles now.
Of course.
Now knowing that, okay, listen, this team is undefeated when it gets to 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts. So that means on 1st and 2nd down, Acho, you cannot give up a 7 or 8 yard gain. Can't do it.
The dilemma is,
can't do it.
Let's be real, and I don't want to say it, but let's be real. The tush push is a perversion of football. Every time you start anything, it can get perverted, right? You go to a Texas State Fair, Chase, I'm sure you've been there several times. Yeah. Why are there fried Oreos?
They're so good to eat.
Why are there burgers with donuts as a bun? It's just a perversion of food. Just because you can do it don't mean you got to be able to do it. The tush push is just a loophole found within the rules. Shout out to the Eagles for finding the loophole. They've won a Super Bowl in part because of the loophole that they have found. But eventually you correct the loopholes. Y'all know how you can rig games. Y'all know how you could rig music. Back in the day, we used to have LimeWire. I'm downloading all the music illegally. And then eventually, after you figure out the loophole, you stop the loophole. The tush push, it is the perversion of football. Eagles are savants. They're brilliant. They figured it out first. Now that they figured out, I'm not mad at the course correction.
I don't have an issue with it. I'm for the tush push, but everything I'm hearing out of the league meetings and every coach is saying, one, it's a rugby scrum. Okay, and it's exactly like, okay, I get that, but it's within the rules right now, so you're able to do it. All right, the other thing that I say and that I've heard is that, hey, it's about player health and safety. Let me just tell you something. There is zero data right now that substantiates that claim. And I've talked to a high-ranking NFL doctor. There is no injury data. There is zero. That is just something that you're putting your flagpole on and you were saying, I'm holding on for dear life. They're talking about in the future, how are you going to ban a play for the future? Here's my issue, or here's my deal, okay? I'm for it. I think it should stay in the game. However, I would be happy if they ended up tweaking the language of the rule. And let me tell you this. So I don't even care that you push. You want to see more touchdowns. You want to see people go for it more on fourth down. I get that. People want ratings. How it'll give you ratings, okay? You can only use it in the play of field on fourth down. You cannot use it on 3rd and 1. If you get to 4th and 1, you can use it. The other thing that I want, inside the 2-yard line, you can't use it. It's too easy of a score, okay? You want to have touchdowns. You want to have goal line fades. You want to have running backs scoring touchdowns. You want to take away those touchdowns from quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. Do that. I think that's where this thing is going to move to because I do think that it's a fine play. I do think tweaking the rules to make that more sustainable would make sense.
Can I ask y'all a question? This is embarrassing. The NFL's a copycat league, correct? If they watching Acho, the Philadelphia Eagles play defense, and they say, dang, the Colts got them on this play, we probably going to put the play in. Why can't nobody else do it, fellas?
Bills have tried. They just can't do it.
Why can't nobody else do it?
I don't know, James.
They're not good enough.
So you're banning a play because one team is dominant at something.
They're jealous.
Because it's not like, hey, man, it's not like the owners are saying the Eagles is the only one that can do the tush push. You're banned from doing the tush push. You got to run another play. You can do it, too. You just can't stop the Philadelphia Eagles from doing it. Nobody in the National Football League, and now we want to try to get it banned. To me, that's terrible. To me, that's terrible because every team has a chance to look at the film like we've looked at the film many a times. We're going to line up in the same exact formation, run the same play. You know what? We're going to motion to this and run the same play.
Let me ask you this,
every team has done that. So you can get into the same tush push and run it. Josh Allen is a big quarterback. You can. There's a lot of people can get it. They can't do it.
How great would the game of football be that everybody here played at the highest level, which is the NFL? Obviously, some played at higher levels than others, Shady being the Eagles Hall of Famer. How great would the game of football be if we saw 13 tush pushes a game? It's about 80 snaps on offense, 80 snaps on defense, 160 snaps. So if you take 15% of the snaps and it's all tush pushes. Because remember how boring, and I think some of us watched the Eagles-Commanders game together, that was not a fun game. Not the Eagles blowing them out, shout out to the Eagles. But watching Frankie Louvu, number 4 it was for the Commanders, dive over the pile over and over and over and over and over again was not the point of the game. Football's about entertainment. Regardless of how much we want to keep it pure and for purists, it's about entertainment. So if we go watch the Eagles tush push their way in, then you go watch the Bills playing the Eagles tush push their way in, then you go back and watch the Eagles tush push their way in, it's ruining the entertainment of the game. And it's an entertaining game.
Fellas, we don't need to tweak the rules a little bit. We don't need to feel like it's boring because it's not. 130 million people watch the Super Bowl.
Sure.
That playoff game you're talking about against the Commanders, a lot of viewers watch that.
Sure.
The NFL is not boring at all. Tush push or not. I mean, it's out of all the American sports, it's only the most watched sport.
Of course.
So it's never going to be boring. And the NFL is going to keep growing because it's the best sports figure we have here today.
Sure.
So I don't believe none of that. My thing is people are soft and they can't stop it, and that's why they mad about it.
Two things can be true, though.
Yeah,
But here's my thing.
In fact, ain't gonna be.
But two things can be true, right?
two things?
People can be soft. I think changing the rule is soft because nobody else can stop it.
Right.
And simultaneously, I think it would be smart to ban it. So I'm not disagreeing. Call them soft if you want to call them soft, but I understand it.
What about changing the rule? Do you want it completely gone?
The dilemma with what you're saying, because I understand the thought process is, but the dilemma is now, what is the prerequisite to just saying? Okay, so now you're going to say,
play a field.
But the dilemma is now you're outlawing plays at certain times.
Yeah,
there's no standard for that elsewhere. Like, there's no standard within the game of football where, like, hey, you can only run a Hail Mary if. That exists, I think, in the UFL.
Onside kicks this year.
But that's special teams.
But still.
You know, there's no standard for, like, hey, you can't run a goal line fade unless. That's my only pushback. It's like, okay, now you can only run plays at certain times. Because I hear what you're saying, but I'm like, what prerequisite does that say?
This one thing, though. Why are we about to touch a sport and mess with the rules? It's the best.
We mess with the rules
we
do it all the time.
Yeah, but this is.
We mess with them every year. We
y'all
change the rules of the game so much.
Yeah, but y'all talking about taking away play, not rules, plays. Plays is different from rules. You get what I'm saying?
We added to be able to push.
But what I'm saying,
they're able to take it away.
all I'm saying is that, y'all trying to take away offensive plays. That's like saying we're going to take away defensive plays. We're not doing that. All I'm saying is, the best game in America, our best game is football, correct? Why would we touch that?
And you know what's crazy, though?
Now that I retired, right? And because I really didn't understand what, like, fans were. I mean, I knew I had fans. Obviously, I was, for like 6 years running, I was like top 3, top 4 highest jersey seller. But what I'm saying is, when I say about fans, I love to tell you, I got to let everybody know. Yeah. But anyway, when there's not football going on, people are so bored.
Of course.
Right? And the game that everybody, the NBA's on. The NBA's on. Right? You can watch LeBron. You can watch stuff. You can watch them dudes. People want to watch football. And y'all about to change the rules of the best sport moving?
Let me say this, because the Eagles ran a lot of plays off of that. Ran a goal ball to A.J. Brown. You ran a sweep. So like, they started putting in stuff off of that because people couldn't stop that play. So we are saying one team is dominant at something, and the other teams are not dominant at something, and you're trying to take it away. Number two, we do take away a lot of stuff in the National Football League, but you know why? Because they say, hey, man, quarterbacks is getting hurt. We're hitting them too low. It's injury stuff and all that stuff behind it. But it's no injury stuff behind us. It's just you cannot stop it, and it's only one team dominated in it, and now you got 31 other teams. Well, I won't say 31 other teams because people go together. But you got other teams that's trying to ban it because it's a dominant play in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Can I give you my theory?
Soft, man.
Can I give you my theory? I think my theory is this.
Stop it.
They mad that Jalen Hurts is the Super Bowl MVP, and he gets a lot of his touchdowns off the Tush Push, and they're trying to stop Jalen Hurts.
That might be the truth.
Come on now. That's what it is. A second-round quarterback is one of the best in the league, and they can't stand it.
Hey, one of the most exhilaratingly boring games. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.